Part of our commitment to putting Southeast Texas first means getting answers to your legal questions. On Wednesdays, we get to Ask the Judge. And this afternoon, we are joined by Judge Randy Shelton from the courthouse there at Jefferson County, all waving for us. Judge, how are you?
Good. How about you, Jordan?
Things are good. Weeks flying by, so that's a good thing. Let's get right to it. This first question's from a 12 News viewer. She says, I bought a washer and dryer off Facebook Marketplace. The dryer doesn't work. They claim I have a warranty, and I've been trying to get them to come back and pick it up and fix it, but they have failed to show. I'm struggling to get in contact with them now. What are my legal options to try to get my money back?
Well, this is kind of interesting, but before we get to the legal options, I really didn't know what Facebook Marketplace was.
Oh, Judge.
I know, but apparently there is an area on the that's the purchase protection program, and if you click on that, you can notify Facebook that you're having a problem with the seller, and then they may have some assistance for you. But other than that, you can contact or look at the Consumer Protection website of the Texas Attorney General's office, and you can actually file a complaint. I would also recommend the Better Business Bureau. They have a really robust mediation program for consumers and for also businesses. And the last option, probably the worst, is you can try to file a lawsuit in small claims court. But really, it's something you'd have to do on your own. There's probably not enough money involved in the case to really justify hiring an attorney. And you can, even though sometimes you can ask for attorney's fees, you know, it's rare that a judge is going to probably give the attorney the fees that he would be entitled to over just such a small amount of money involved.
Yeah, that makes sense. Maybe not the answers our viewer will want, but certainly we appreciate you working through that. The second question says, my husband and I have been having issues for several years. Recently, he decided to move out, and he seems to think that that's going to start some kind of a clock to pursue grounds for divorce. Do we need to live apart for a while to pursue a divorce?
No, there's really not a required period of separation before getting a divorce in Texas. In some states there is. The only requirement is that the divorce cannot be granted in less than 60 days after the date that the divorce was filed. This is kind of a cooling off period just to be sure that no one is rushing into anything. Sometimes couples even live together until the divorce is granted if they're getting along, but it does not necessarily preclude you from getting a divorce.
Okay, let's get to our final question. About a minute left. This person says, after all the recent flooding in Kirbyville, this question's pretty timely. I have what looks like black mold growing on my ceiling. My landlord says it's my problem. I think they should hire someone to come up and clean and repair. Who's right? What do you think, Judge?
If you have a lease, you need to look at the lease and see what it says about those kind of repairs. But generally, I think it would be up to the landlord. If the landlord won't make repairs that's needed to protect your health, safety, or security, and clearly black mold would fall into that category, you can either end the lease, you can have the problem repaired and deduct the cost of the repairs from your rent, or you can file a lawsuit to force the landlord to make the repairs. But if you use any of those options, you need to send a letter, and you probably should consult with an attorney because there are some requirements that must be satisfied.
All right, Judge, you led us through it. We appreciate your expertise as always.
Thank you, Jordan. I enjoyed it.
Good to see you. Folks, if you've got questions for the judge, go to 12newsnow.com/askthejudge, and there's a form to fill out right there.